Good afternoon, good afternoon. I am Sangrain1 and this is episode 14 of the Sandpack series. And we will be starting this episode with some more beekeeping. And first step is to look at what's inside this carpenter. Are you able to guess what I've been crafting in here? Scented paneling. I have quite a few of them. But I have even more here. So I now have enough centered paneling and impregnant casing for 27 alveary blocks. And 27 alveary blocks is what you're going to need for one alveary. So I'm going to craft these, and we are going to set up our first alveary in base B. See you there. So we are here, and I've prepared a little bit. This is where I will place my first alveary. It's going to be a little bit temporary, but yeah, place it here for now. So alvearies is multi-block structures. When you have finished the construction, it morphs into a machine or a useful building. And this is 3 by 3 by 3 with slabs on top. And when I place this last one, it should morph into an alveary. And there we are. My first alveary. This interface is the same as in the apiary except for these frame slots. And the reason is fairly simple. The alveary does not need frames. A queen inside an alveary is actually more effective than a queen inside an apiary with 3 frames. So yeah, alveary is the way to go. We're going to hook up the piping here. So we're going to duplicate what we have over there, basically. It's going to look a little bit wasteful, like having 2 apiaries pipe right next to each other there. But this was the only way that I've found where I could sort of duplicate the same setup as I have here. And yeah, I'm going to have another apiary. I'm going to show you how I use that extra apiary later. Need another apiary's pipe and wooden pipe. Lots of wooden pipe here. So this is the same as we see here, but with an alveary instead. Now I did try to move this a little bit, so I had this chest right under here, connected to this apiary's pipe instead of here. The problem then is that this pipe doesn't have enough inputs and exits to get a nice one wide setup like here, because I wouldn't have anywhere to send the items. So I had to move this one out, which means that I'm using 2 apiarist pipes right next to each other here, but that's okay. I'm going to move this. This is actually a very good industrious queen. The lifespan is a little bit too long and the speed too slow, but it is both nocturnal and a cave dweller. I still haven't found any bees with the flyer ability, so that's one of the next steps, I guess. Another thing that I'm trying to do now actually is to breed other abilities into these queens. I want short lifespan and I want fast speed. Pollination, I think, is related to tree breeding, and we will look into that as well in a later episode, I guess. Yeah, flowers, that is a good ability as well. Effect, none, is also very good. Temperature and humidity, the temperatures tolerance for both is very basic, so this bee can basically work only in a biome like this. So that's another thing I want to attempt. I want to attempt giving this industrious queen some other abilities so that it can work in other biomes. So let's see. This is where it will be extracted from the apiary when the queen dies, all items and so. I want any bees to go straight back in as long as there is room. But if there is no room, I want it to exit out the green there. Next step here, we want all pure any bee that are pure industrious should go down. Everything else should go up. Like for example comms. So these bees, an industrious queen in an Alveary will produce a lot more resources. So here we had the if missing drone, and the pipe is empty. Let's see, I just want to make sure. Yeah, the same rules. Same rules. Here we want to extract always. Now here I want pure princess to go down. Or any princess I want to go down. But not drones. Everything else goes up. Unless it's an item. Item should go the yellow there. So items will come here and then travel up the white one. Extra drones too will travel there. So wait a minute. I want any bee there and any thing there, like so. And then I place it just on top. Let's just make sure that I have the same rule. Princess, any bee, princess, any bee. Yeah, perhaps I should duplicate that as well. I want to show you how I use it later. Yeah. Okay, give me a minute. First, I have a small correction here. I have any bees here, and here I had drones. And it doesn't really matter because the princess is sort of locked in a loop here, so the princess will never exit. So I can just have drones as well. The effect is the same, any bee or drones, because I only have drones coming here. Now, how do I use this? What's the purpose of all this? Well, this apiary, Alveary, is now producing drones for me. If we take a closer look at the queen, it has two offsprings, two drones. Now, one of the drones is used again immediately, so when the queen dies, I get two drones and one princess. the princess and the drone is used immediately, but the extra drone ends up here. And this is my army of drones that I use to purify other princesses, basically. So I'm going to try to demonstrate something here. I have a couple of industrious princesses here. Let's take a look at all of them, because I don't remember which were one. So lifespan is normal, which is fairly long. Speed is slow, but it's both nocturnal and cave. So this is a carbon copy of the queen in there, I believe. The same abilities. Here we have different lifespan, shorter lifespan, still nocturnal and cave dweller. So this is for me a slightly better princess than this one because of the lifespan. I want them to die at a certain frequency so that I get more drones. And this one is even better, shorter lifespan. Speed is still slow, or slower. And this one is fast. The active gene is fast, while the inactive is slower. So the offspring of this princess might become slower or fast. It will be random. And the same with lifespan. The offspring of this industrious princess might get normal lifespan. So, and those abilities are things that I want to change and then purify. So which one here should I use? Actually, it doesn't matter. I'll just pick one of them more or less at random. And now I pick specifically that one because that was the worst one out when it comes to abilities. I'm going to ignore the abilities she has here because I have a lot of drones with those abilities already, so I can very easily purify a princess to give the princess these abilities back. So what I'm going to try is to give this princess a shorter lifespan and faster speed, or fast speed, I believe, because I have some. I think it is here. These cultivated bees have short lifespan and fast speed. They are neither nocturnal or cave. So when I'm mixing this cultivated drone with this industrious princess, there is a large chance for the offspring to lose the nocturnal abilities because this does not have any. But I'm going to ignore that. The goal now is to get a strain of industrious bees with fast worker and short life, or shorter, I guess it was. Oh, short. So the important thing here is to add the drone first, because if I add the princess first, I will get the drone from here. And then I add the princess. This will mate, and the offspring will most probably be a cultivated princess. No, I do not want another fast cultivated princess. I don't need that at the moment. I have one producing drones for me over there. And that is where this system here comes in. Every time the queen here now dies, it will pass through here, and it's only if it is pure industrious will it go up into this chest. If it is cultivated or a hybrid industrious princess, it will go back in here, and then I will take one drone from here in an attempt to purify it. Now, so this is the automated part. I manually pick bees, but the purification is automated. In a system like this, it is there is with a high probability that the resulting princess will both lose her abilities here, and she will still not be fast or have a shorter lifespan because of this. This is blue text, as you can see. It's a recessive gene. So industrious bees have a recessive gene. So if I mix, now that I mixed a cultivated bee with a industrious princess, and cultivated is a dominant gene, the chance that I get a cultivated bee is significantly higher than my chance of getting a new industrious bee. So that is the reason why it's probably need to go through here a couple of times before I get lucky and then get a pure princess. And this might be the result. In this case, the princess actually kept its abilities as nocturnal and K, which is kind of amazing, while she also obtained short lifespan and fast speed. So this is a princess that has sort of improved. Now the problem is these here. The offspring of this princess, or the queen that is made, have a fairly good chance of getting normal lifespan and slower speed. So this is why I am saving this bee. I am hoping to find a drone that is just as good, and then I will match this industrious princess with an industrious drone with equally good abilities in an attempt to see how that goes. I have one example over here, I think. This is Imperial. This is my two Imperial strains, and I think in this case I have a strain. I haven't worked on the lifespan and speed yet, but here I actually have a princess that is both nocturnal and cave. I didn't remember that, but I'm trying to make a new one. So this one, I believe, is not a cave dweller. But I got lucky, sort of. Let's keep that in hand. Because here I have a princess. Wait. Here I have a princess that are both nocturnal and cave dweller. And then I can match that with this drone. And I suddenly have a new strain of pure nocturnal and pure cave dweller. The offspring of this queen will always have both active and inactive genes, as pure as yes here, unlike this one. So I'm going to put this, let's see, use this one in here and just let it die. So that is how I use these machines here. I'm not going to wait for this one to die. When it does, it will probably be cultivated. It will be mixed with a drone from here in an attempt to purify it. Eventually it will be a pure industrious princess, and when that happens, she is hopefully also managed to keep both these abilities and these abilities. Although these are not going to be so important to me this time, what I want to do now is to get one strain of industrious bees that are fast speed, and then I will start matching the drones of those bees with princesses from this here. So this hive is now producing pure nocturnal and pure cave dwellers. You can see that it's working during the night. And I can use this system to create more princesses with the same abilities. On the other side here, I might add a pure or a fast working industrious princess together with a drone. And then that way I can take drones from here and the princesses I make here, match them, and then hopefully I get a princess that are both fast and have these abilities. It's going to be easier for me to match two industrious bees, so a princess and a drone, than it is for me to match an industrious princess with an cultivated drone. So it's going to be two steps there. Alright, okay. So this is harder to explain than it is to understand if you so choose to spend some time on it. It's great fun, and it requires some luck, of course. Maybe I've been lucky here as well. Here I am trying to create a cultivated bee that have both fast and I have finally received a bee that are nocturnal and cave dweller and fast. So this is a very good comb producer. And if I've been equally lucky here, yeah, I also have a drone with the same abilities. So I can now use that set of bees, switch out with this not so good, because this is only fast. It does not have any other abilities here. So now I finally have a strain of cultivated bees that are both fast, nocturnal, and cave dweller. So this system will now start producing drones for me, and I'm going to do this because these drones here are not that much use for me anymore. The interesting part is now going to be the drones that are being produced from now on. And I can use those drones to add more abilities later. And that was just about the 22.5-minute mark. I think it's probably about time that I end this episode, giving you just a peek of my plans for this area, base B, as I'm going to call it. But yeah, I hope that I didn't talk too much about the bees. It's an interesting topic, but extremely hard to explain. And I don't think everyone enjoys beekeeping because of the complexity, perhaps. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's enough for today. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.